Before we get into this episode, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. You can hit the notification button so you can get updated weekly on all of our latest content. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, tell us what you want to see next below. So I'm so excited to have Sage Robbins on the podcast because we've had her husband, Tony Robbins, on, which I think is the him aspect. And now we get the her feminine energy on the podcast, and we get to see how you guys work, live, collaborate together, all the things. My first question is kind of random. I always wonder how both of you guys, and I would love to hear your way, how you show up for so many people who are coming with the intention to heal in a space where there's so many people, you almost have to zip up your energy. How do you prepare yourself for that?
That's an interesting question. For myself, I meditate, I pray, and I feel that it's human. What they're coming for, I'm coming for, you're coming for.
True. So
don't you think that
it's both healing?
It is. I really believe that that's our life's journey is evolution. And I think it's a gift. I feel called when people have a hunger and a longing like yourselves. You guys are doing beautiful things and wanting to shed light on individuals that are doing the same. And I don't know, I just relate. I relate to anybody that I'm in front of because it's human. You know, we all have those things. We all have those circumstances. We all have pain. We all meet in this human experience. There's beautiful things. There's messy circumstances. There's painful circumstances. We've all had our conditioning. We all have this happen or that happen. But I think life, when you recognize that it's truly happening for us and that there's a gift in no matter how confused or painful of a circumstance that we may have navigated, I don't know. I think that's where we all join. So it isn't so much of a zipping myself up. I think it's more of an opening myself up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. What's the common denominator of that you see of people seeking you and Tony's help?
That's a great question. Seeking our help. I don't even know that they're seeking help. I think it's the mirror. I think we can all get caught in a rut of living life a certain way through all of our responsibilities and our things that we do and our roles and identities. And I think there comes a time, I don't know if you can relate to this, where it's like, this doesn't feel true the way that I'm doing it, this version of life. And I think there's a hunger and a longing for something more. And sometimes that more is just connecting to who we truly are, connecting to what's most authentic. You asked a question before we began that what would make this a success? And I think, there's so much happening on the world stage and social media that it's, we project these human beings projecting who we want to show the world that we are rather than, hey, this is who I am. And I think we all meet in that space and it's vulnerable. It's raw. It's real.
It's very hard, I think, to have so much content thrown at us all the time. It's overwhelming.
Yes, it is.
It's like, I can't even imagine like a 12-year-old little girl getting on TikTok.
Yes, I agree.
It's just a lot. It's a lot of energy.
It is.
How do you manage your own social? Do you have boundaries around it?
So I'm a woman. I'm 51 years old. And I've never been on social media up until a year ago.
Wow.
Nothing.
What?
I never had a social media presence whatsoever.
You, Sage.
Yes, nothing. And, it's interesting. I'm a lover of people, and yet I'm also a bit of a hermit, and I love my own space and place and time. And we have a public life, and yet we also, who's in our inner world, it's a small circle. I'm sure you can relate to that in some ways. And so social media, I look at the stage of my life is really, it's a platform to connect, but it's also a platform to share what is moving through you. And I think that everything, it depends how we use it. I think the miss of it, like you said, is it creates a context of, I want your love, approval, and acceptance. I want them to like it. Or, the distraction of being on social, we're in everybody else's life. We're in everybody else's business. And I don't know about you, but I've got enough going on in my own world. And I think it's a powerful tool, and it's a medium to connect with others. I think the miss for not only younger generations, but even for us as adults, is I think it can be all-consuming, being in other people's lives, that we can miss our own, and we can miss how we are being here now. And that's what really interests me. I enjoy life. I enjoy this space. I enjoy the intimacy of life. And I think that can get missed through social media at times.
We sometimes go speak at schools, which is funny because many of these schools would have never even let us in the doors of those schools when we were students. But
especially you, Mr. Moon, the principal.
Especially
That's
me.
Fantastic.
That's true. But what I say to the students that we speak to sometimes, as we have grown up with these platforms and use them as a business tool, and as a medium, I say, like, you have to be very mindful of the differentiator between, like, it being a tool and a connector versus you being a mindless consumer.
I agree.
Right. And if you don't realize, like, if you're just on there and you find yourself just swiping and feeling obligated to jump into every issue or have a perspective on anything that's going on in the world at any given time, like, you have to step back and say, like, is my relationship with this thing productive or counterproductive? And it's a very slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope. And I don't know, opinions, everybody has an opinion. I don't know that my opinion matters. I really don't. Like, people were so available to just, I want my opinion known, or you put it in social media or speak it. And once again, words are currency.
Yeah, no,
they're a currency of impact.
We have obviously a platform.
Yes.
And a lot of things, as you said, are going on in the world stage and happen regularly. And, many years ago, like, you wouldn't be privy to many of those issues, right? They just, you would see what was kind of going on in your world, your city, your state, whatever. But we get asked all the time to comment on whatever the hot new thing is, or whatever topic is, a controversy or a tragedy in the world. I'm like, well, do you really need my or her perspective on this specific thing that we really shouldn't have any expertise on? And I think that's also an issue, is people, especially young people, feel like they need to be involved in every single issue of the day. And it's like, well, what are you actually passionate about? And what are you actually an expert in? Where can you actually have an impact?
Yes.
Sometimes you got to step back and just say, hey, like, maybe I'm a listener in this instance.
And I think what you just said is actually really profound, Michael. To be a listener, to witness, to learn, to grow from what's happening. But I don't know, if I don't have something kind to say, I look to not say anything at all. That sounds probably trite and simplistic, but I think that's just being as a mom and as parents. I look at that next year. We have a 4-year-old daughter, and she doesn't have access at this stage to any social media, but even a device. And there's a simplicity to that. She'll watch, we go back to, like, old shows like Little Bear or Daniel Tiger, because they were made like 30 years ago, and there's wholesome values, values of a reverence for your parents or your elders or your grandparents. And sometimes that can be vacant in the information that we're putting into our children. Even books, like I'm the mom that's like flipping through books and reading them. And just the other day there was one, and it was talking about, I don't know, it was this little owl, and the little owl hated peas. And I was like, even just the word hate.
Yeah.
Like, why even? Because they have to digest that. And I know you can't stop life, but I think as we can be conscientious, I'm aware of what I'm putting into my mind. If we're aware of what we're putting into our bodies, with food, I think there's a power in being aware of what we're feeding into our minds, because we have to digest that as well.
I agree with you. I just brought back the Berenstain Bears.
I love Berenstain Bears.
And that is, you watch it and you're like, oh, it's like, it's about manners.
Yes.
It's about being careful of strangers.
Yes.
It's so sweet.
It is.
And by the way, they love it. They love it just as much as Coco Melon.
Yes,
like,
I agree.
So I think there is something to what you're saying. It's like bringing back the values. And it's cute because there's like 4 of them, and they're like, that's I have a son and a daughter. So they're like, I'm brother and I'm sister.
I'm sister.
Yeah, they like identify with that. It's cute.
No, but in addition to that, they're like, oh, the 5-year-old's starting to read and our daughter's just turning 5. She's like, oh, maybe I should learn to now read like the bear.
Cute. That's it. The Berenstein Bears and Daniel Tiger, they're so cute. Also, another good one is George and Martha.
I had to shut down the Cocomelon stuff.
We don't do the Cocomelon. It's too high sensory. Speaking of high sensory, how do you regulate your nervous system?
That's your goal. How do I regulate my system? Well, I married Mr. Motion.
I know. I'm like, you have to like almost like regulate, like be the balancer.
Yes. Well, I think we're all regulating or not. And it's a kinder experience when we do. It's interesting. When I first met Tony and entering his world and going to events and the lights and the sound and the people, it was a stretch. It was a stretch. And but at this stage of my life, I have found ways to, I think let me put it this way. I think the gift of age is, energy starts to be invited more internal. And at the beginning, it was like, all external. And I'm going to, just all the things of doing in life. And at this stage of my life, it's more about how am I being? And I think that can get missed. How am I being? How am I being in this moment? And so a practice, I'll literally stop and pause. If I'm in an interaction, say if Tony and I were maybe having a heated moment, and, mine will always look at what the other person's doing or not doing. And so blame, the external demonization. We know what that looks like right now. Even, you flip on the news or you look on social media, it's all the external. I think what's so profound for myself, how I regulate is just taking responsibility for how am I being. And if I don't feel that I'm showing up the best version of myself, and we can all miss, I don't have this mastered, I'll own that. And I'll come up to Tone and I'll say, honey, can we begin again? Can we reset? And I find that is self-regulating, because in that emission, a younger version of myself, I'd be like, why aren't you listening to me? You never pay attention to me.
Sage, this is a really bad time to have this conversation really? As I just sent a dart of a text to my husband. You should see the text I just sent him. It's like, you better get your shit together. I'm having this baby soon.
In her defense, like there are, there's
this
a lot.
This is a horrible time to have this conversation.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's a perfect time. Keep going.
Let's begin again, Michael.
Yeah, let's begin again.
But actually, let's begin again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that is so profound.
It diffuses it.
And does that pull you towards her or push you away from her?
Of course it pulls me to, yeah. I mean,
yes.
I don't think anyone likes to be blamed and attacked. And I was thinking about it even through the context of running a business.
Yes.
What we try to do in this culture is like really take responsibility. So like my perspective as a CEO is like everything is my fault if something goes wrong in any area. And what
we should do that as you as a husband.
Yeah.
That's a game. What you just said, that's a game changer.
Yeah, I think, and there's a book that's called it's called Extreme Ownership. It's a great book. But what I realized in the culture of a company is when you have that perspective, everybody then when something goes wrong wants to lend a hand and fix it.
Exactly.
As opposed to if you're like pushing the blame, everybody wants to kind of just, lean out and not be helpful. So no, I think I think that's a great perspective to have.
I find that's how I self-regulate. And I feel like it just clears the schism. It clears the space. I really believe that we're either adding to harmony or we're adding to the schism. And the schism, that you're adding to the schism because it feels like constriction. It feels disconnected from who we love. And I think that alone activates our nervous system. We get in survival because we're just so busy doing this thing and then innocently wanting this human being to do what I want. And I used to be her. I literally remember saying to Tone, like, you're not present with me. Like, you don't understand. You don't understand me. And I used to say to him, like, understand me. I didn't understand me. I didn't even understand as a younger version of myself what I was even feeling. And at this stage, I just own it. I just speak it. I'll be like, hun, do you know what? I'm probably acting so crazy right now. I'm sorry. I just feel overwhelmed. And that pulls him to me rather than the demand of do this. By the way, I did the opposite for years and it got me nowhere. We're both dynamic people. Yes, I'm feminine, but I feel as male as I do female. And so he's a force. He's, a masculine force as well. And ironically, actually very feminine. I think that's what's interesting. We all have both energies. But I just find that it invokes more reciprocation and it invokes more connectivity. It's more intimate to say, babe, I'm feeling crazy right now. Or I'm so scared. And we're having 3 kids. I'm having a 3rd child and it's like, I feel overwhelmed. I need you to show up for me. I don't even need you. It would mean the world to me, maybe more accurate. It'd be meaningful to me.
How did you make that shift? You said your younger version was this way and now you're this way. What was the epiphany where you made the shift?
Well, I think age helps. I think we were living on the road, traveling, gosh, like close
That's hard.
250, 60 days of the year. We would travel the globe 2 times a year.
God. Yeah, that's hard.
And it was intense. It was potent, like dose of life in all directions. It was humbling. And I'm a love and he's a love. And it hurts to not feel connected. It was selfish. It was selfish because it's, I don't know, just the distance between. It's like when you're working together and you're living together, and to be in that space and that close proximity and to not feel connected or to not feel ease. I don't know. I think, for us, we've been together for 25 years. And so we've been to heaven and hell many, many times. But the gift of enduring love and the gift of, I guess, long-lasting love, I suppose, is you hit a point where you get over yourselves. You get over the conditioned part of who I wanted him to be or who I thought he should be for me. And part of that's just conditioning. We're conditioned even as a society, even all the books we're speaking of little ones with our daughter, it's all about this persons are going to come and the prince and the princess and they're going to save me and they're going to be everything. And I don't know that it's realistic. I think actually life and love is more real and more beautiful than that. But it's been my experience of doing it, I can't say the wrong way, but unconsciously. Doing it through the lens of an expectation, doing it through the lens of a charge, doing it through the lens of a demand, doing it through the lens of, why do you always do this? And then, the two clashing, and it's clunky and it's painful. And so I don't know, I can't pinpoint what shifted besides the fact that I would say the same responsibility that you connect to in business, Michael. I was missing that level of ownership in my relationship with Tone. And that's extraordinarily freeing, because if we do have a schism, I know I can change it by just going first, rather than, why aren't you saying sorry to me? Why aren't you doing this? Like the external, we want these people to be a certain way, and when they're not, when he wasn't, I was crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. What are other tools that you guys use in your relationship, whether it's big or small, whether it's meditation or like doing something wellness? What are the things that you guys go to be such high performers?
Yes. Well, I believe, so a couple things. I pray, I meditate. If we have dinner with our daughter, we sit down, the first thing we do is we'll just say grace and give thanks. And we'll all share what we're grateful for that day. But I really believe, I have a meditation practice and I do inquiry, but at this stage of my life, it's like catching myself in the moment. Like in the moment when I recognize, and you have the moment of clarity, I'm being crazy right now. Or you send a text and it's like, you walk away and it's like, gosh, was that the most connected, true version of myself? And that's the moment to act. That's the moment to act and to take responsibility. Like, honey, I'm so sorry. I just saw myself and I sent this text and I'm sorry. Can I come find you? Because sometimes maybe he's in the studio or I'm, somewhere else working. And so it's making our minutes and our moments matter. Because there's an innate, I really believe, longing inside of all of us to connect intimately with those that we love. And sometimes in our busyness, we can miss.
Well, I was going to say, maybe you will both, maybe you and Tony, if you're here, would relate to this. I think sometimes when you work together,
yes,
and you're ambitious and you drive a really fast and intense pace,
yes,
you then sometimes have difficulty kind of like stepping out of that pace for a second,
yes,
right? Like sometimes we'll just catch ourselves at home and we're like going at the same pace as if we're traveling and doing shows and doing all the things. And I think like that can be challenging in a relationship because
It can be.
I don't think it's so common that couples work together like you guys do, like we do. What I actually, when people ask, when they ask in the show, like, should we work together? I said, actually, like, probably not. I like usually try to talk people out of it. And I say, like, if you can get past all the stuff and be aware of everything that comes with it, then maybe.
Yes.
But it, there's a lot of challenges, I think, that are put on a relationship if you work together. But if you can get through it and come out the other side, it's also extremely rewarding.
Extremely rewarding. And so a couple things. I think the gift of asking your partner, can we begin again? Can we reset? And I do that all the time.
I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I say it all the time. It's just like, hun, can we begin again?
Different than my text.
And then if we say like, can we begin again or can we reset? I'll claim some sort of responsibility of like, I'm sorry, like I was just short with you, or I was curt with you, or I didn't feel like I was the best version of myself. And what I find is that willingness or that ownership, it invokes reciprocity. It brings you together. And he'll be like, oh, honey, don't be crazy. I totally know. Like he knows what I'm what each other's navigating. It's legit. Life's real. Never mind being married, working together, being parents, doing that all in this space. I mean, it's extraordinarily humbling. And I find as well for Tony, I'll tell you one other thing that we find quite helpful. So the gift of asking to begin again, and doing a reset. Number two, I feel transitions from work into a personal space. Like we'll both, right before dinner, we'll go jump in the hot tub or jump in the pool.
Change the energy.
Just to have a physiological reset. And then say if we were ever hot in a context of a conversation, sometimes I'll say, hun, like I need 10 minutes. I just need 10 minutes. I'm going to come back to you. I'm not leaving. Because the younger version of myself, I'd walk out the door and I'd slam the door. That's relatable. True? Yes. You walk out the door and you slam the door.
Worse.
And then, okay,
Slamming
but then
the door.
What a timely conversation.
Yes, but then if he didn't come after me, I'd be like, what a jerk. Why isn't he coming to find
me?
But I left.
I want it all and I want it delivered.
Yes. And so, I think there's what I've really recognized is, and this is another, when you talk about regulation, I recognize that when I was most upset or when I was most charged, let's say, or most angry, whatever you want to call it, there was not a desire, I guess a want or a request in there. It's like, why don't you, or it's like you can say like, be a butler, or it's like, the request is, honey, it would be really meaningful for me if you show up. I'm scared. It's like life is really feeling overwhelming right now. We're going to have but like speaking it from that place. And it's crazy because if I spoke that from an angry space, is it hurt or is it not?
Yeah. Well, I also think like just speaking as a man, I think, and I'll just speak for the majority of men, and this is maybe not true for everyone, but I think the majority, men want to feel respected and like they're
No, what did the guy say? What did they want to feel? What did that guy say? Arthur Brooks.
Well, he said a lot of things.
No, he said men want to feel admired.
Admired. Yeah. Admired.
And women want to feel adored.
And seen.
Yeah,
I think like the attack.
We're on different pages, a lot of us.
I think what happens when men get attacked about what they're not doing without the acknowledgement of what they are doing, I think a lot of men pull back.
True.
Right. And so like in my mind, when I hear what I'm not doing, it's that. But if it was met with like, hey, I'd like you to do more of this, but I also appreciate these things.
Yes.
I'm much more receptive. Like, you know what? I actually do need to lean more into the things that I'm not.
Look at the little therapy that we just got.
But I think with anyone, right? Like nobody. Maybe not just men, nobody wants to be told all the things they're not doing. They want to be acknowledged in some kind of way, right?
Yes. And innocently, Michael, we as human beings, never mind women, I think, I'll speak for myself. I used to tell Tony what he was doing wrong and hope that he heard it to change it. And I didn't recognize that through that criticism, it only disconnected and it caused him to step away rather than step forward. And he just actually really gave you a pathway. What I hear from Michael, it's like, even though you might be screwing up, it's okay. But like, if you tell me that, please tell me what I'm doing well or what I'm doing, how I'm lighting you up.
I should make an Excel sheet of everything he does well, and I can send it to him and then be like, here's for your context. But again, but I'm going to need you to edit this.
This is not related, but related. So imagine if you worked in an organization or if you managed someone organization and the only thing you did in a review process was tell them all the things they do wrong. And you never acknowledged.
You need a compliment sandwich.
Yeah. It's like there's room for improvement in everything and with everyone, but you can't just constantly criticize someone because then they feel disconnected and they feel underappreciated.
True. And that's universal. That's men or women. And I think as well, when you talk about self-regulation, I think going first and claiming our stuff, because a lot of times I recognize I was demanding or wanting him to be different, but I wasn't seeing that. Once again, the question, how am I being?
So when you're going through this process, does Tony Robbins you? I've always wondered that because he motivates.
Also, side note, it's very helpful for me to hear that Tony Robbins also faces many of these issues.
Well, if he was here, I mean, here's what's true. I'm giving you context of what's led us here. At this stage of our life, I feel like we're stripped down to love and gratitude. I only want that man's happiness. He only wants mine. But that's the gift of being together for 25 years.
Yeah.
And doing this and all the context that we have.
Yeah, you guys,
you learn, you mature.
Masters.
You grow up. Well, no, I'm not. I'm the furthest thing from a master. I feel like I'm.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a student. I'm hungry to learn and to grow and to evolve. And part of being a student, it's like you're saying, it's like listening. Also listening to ourselves, or how am I feeling? How am I being? Because I think that that's something as a younger version of myself that I really missed. And at this stage of my life, it's like as the volume turns up, you have 3 little ones. I mean, in our life is full. It's full, it's abundant in all ways. And we can work a 20-hour day and not even blink an eye. And so it's making our moments matter. It's making our moments matter. And then life humbles you, loss and a few years ago, Tony had an internal bleed, and I thought I was going to lose him. He lost 4 pints of blood when he was on stage. He had an esophageal bleed, and that's really stripping. It's really humbling because from that perspective, I wanted nothing of him. I wanted to love him. I wanted to be as close as possible, and I think that's life is just such a teacher. And it's those moments that has really stripped me down and humbled me. And I find that, Tony always says, it's like trade your expectations for appreciation. And you can miss that, but actually living that truth, expecting, it's like, okay, I want you to do this. That's crazy. I can be grateful. That I hear from you, Michael, that it'd be meaningful to be seen for what you're doing well. And by the way, vice versa with your lady. It's both ways.
Yep.
It's both ways. And, or speaking to her, it's like, babe, I can't even imagine all that you're navigating. I mean, she's carrying this child within. She's like, moms have, women, I think there's a unique challenge because we have so much of our energy external. And so it's like one more thing to take care of, one more, whether it's your business, whether it's your children, whether it's your husband, it's like, it's a lot. And for myself, I didn't always take care of her. I missed me. My 20s and 30s, probably even into the beginning of my early 40s, you're just stepping into that place. I missed even what would feel true for me. I would do anything for everybody else. But I wasn't always aware of what, you call it self-regulation, but just taking a breath and catching my breath, and doing what I feel in moments I would feel filled up by, so I can meet my loves in my life from a fuller and truer, more connected place.
Why were you such a people pleaser?
Well, what I recognize at this stage, I really am. I'm a love. I really do love people, and I think
feel it. You can feel it.
But I think it changed. I think, I was the pleaser of, I don't know, it's a conditioned, it's like, I don't know if it's the external, I want your love, approval, and acceptance, as a younger version of myself. And then that falls away and it's just, I love you. And I want to show up for life, never mind myself and others. And it's the same, it just comes from a different fuel. It comes from a different place, a more authentic place, truthfully. And it's less like, it's more, I don't know, I think we're made to be, as human beings, God intended us to be useful. And I am. And yet the same love and care that I would so effortlessly give to anybody that I loved, I look to take care of this body and being and as well my spirit.
You mentioned 20-hour workdays.
At times.
And I've heard from behind the scenes of people around you guys that have said that no one works harder. Yes. I mean, I
think we've seen it too.
Well, you could see it. We got to go. Which is the event that we went to? You were there. It was a long time ago, though.
Our Unleash the Power Within?
Yeah.
Yes, and it was in New Jersey.
Yes.
I did the cool moss, walked on the fire.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Did all the things.
But the way you guys work is incredibly unique. 20-hour days are wild. I want to know how you prepare for it and then how you wind down from it.
Well, we do prepare. Absolutely. I mean, when people ask me what's one thing that, most people wouldn't know about Tony is actually the level and depth that he prepares.
I mean, isn't he jumping around for something crazy hours straight?
Yes.
Like on stage?
I heard he doesn't only just prepare for that, but I heard if he does interviews, if he goes to place and he does, I mean, when he met us, I could tell listen, we do this with a lot of people.
Yes.
And you can tell sometimes people are like, where am I? Who, you know what I mean? Like he knew
absolutely
a lot more than I thought he would know about
us.
Yeah,
but that's why you guys live 0.001% of it's high expectation of self.
True. Yeah. Rather than others, that's freedom. That's freedom. And it's the high expectation of self or just bringing your best self, I suppose. And even last night, Mary and I, we were preparing today. It was probably 3.5 hours of my evening last night, just reading, getting connected. And because I want to have, once again, a meaningful and intimate conversation rather than walking in vacant and having no sense of who you are. And I actually I was like, wow, I relate to these people. There's actually some common threads. You guys are like a decade younger version of us, but there's a lot of actually commonality. I have mad respect for you both.
Listen up, everyone. Big news. Branch Basics, one of our all-time favorite cleaning brands, is now available at over 600 Target stores nationwide and at Target.com. That's right. You can now pick them up during your regular Target run. We've had the founder, Allison, on this podcast twice to talk about what they're doing at Branch Basics, and it is incredible. Here's the thing. So many of us grow with these harmful chemical cleaning supplies that have hormone disruptors and artificial fragrances that cause a host of different health issues, and we don't even realize we're poisoning ourselves. We have these cleaning supplies in the house, and they're poisoning us daily. So many health issues, so many immune issues are because of these terrible products that we bring into the house. But here's the thing, Branch Basics now has a product that you can clean with without compromising your health. It's completely natural and organic, and you can clean everything from countertops to bathrooms and even tough stains. Using the Branch Basics all-purpose cleaner, bathroom cleaner, and their new stain removal, you can tackle it all. Plus, like I said, they're gentle on sensitive skin and safe for babies and pets. Ever since we made the switch, we've never gone back. It is such an easy switch to make. It's cost-effective. And like I said, it does the same cleaning, but with better ingredients than the toxic chemical supplies that most people have in their houses. So if you're tired of toxic chemicals lingering in your home, it's time to make the switch. Shop Branch Basics at 600 plus Target stores nationwide or Target.com. You can also use our code SKINNY15 to get 15% off at branchbasics.com/skinny15. Again, skinny15 for 15% off at branchbasics.com/skinny15.
This episode is brought to you by Thorne, the brand trusted by top performers, elite athletes, and people serious about their health. Every single night, my son has a job. He has 2 jobs. And his first job is he turns on all the red light in the room. He loves this job. If Zaza tries to do it, he gets mad. And his second job is to make everyone in the family vitamin water. And he has been doing this with my daughter since he was little. And the vitamin water that we make, that I give him and Zaza and Michael and myself, is Thorne's magnesium powder. It's a highly absorbable form of magnesium that supports muscle recovery, energy production, and a deeper, more restorative sleep. So I'll give them a sip of mine. Michael will give them a sip of his, and they are off to sleep. It works so well. Obviously, do your own research, but we love, love, love this ritual, and it's a family ritual. It also tastes so good. I use it as my wind down every night. It's delicious. I think you're going to love it. Ready to level up your performance? Check out Thorne's Magnesium Blood Glycinate and more at thorne.com. Disclaimer, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. This episode is brought to you by Opill, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opill is a daily birth control pill that is FDA approved and full prescription strength. It's a progesterone-only pill, meaning it does not contain estrogen. Progesterone-only pills like Opill have been FDA approved to prevent pregnancy for over 50 years. But now with Opill, the way you are able to access daily birth control pills is completely in your hands. I know this would have been so amazing for me when I was in college to get access to birth control so easily. There's like an ease to it that we just never had when I was taking birth control every single day. I also think it's just an incredible achievement in reproductive health to have daily birth control pills on your terms. There's no prescription or doctor's appointments needed, and you can find Opill online and at most major retailers. Opill is birth control in your control, and you can use code SKINNY for 25% off your first month at Opill at opill.com. That's skinny at OPILL.com. Check out Opill to see if it's right for you.
But I personally find that so impressive about both of you, because at the stage of life you're both in and the success you've both had, you don't need to do that, but you continue to do it. And it's amazing for us because we get to have that connection. But I just think it speaks to the success that you guys have achieved, because many at your level don't do that. And we speak to people regularly. And so it's interesting that you guys would take that amount of time still to do this kind of thing. I just think it speaks to your character and success. So
when you have to be on stage or speak or do something for 20 hours,
yes.
Are you starting the week before? Are you starting the month? Like, what's the prep for that?
That's a great question. Well, it depends. It depends whether the event is something that we've done many, many times, or it depends whether it's something new. Do you know what I mean? Because when there's creation, there's more iteration, there's more creation to it. So contextually, that would begin much sooner.
So like the summit that you're doing for all these women, what is the prep for that?
Well, that begins much sooner. We're thinking about it here now. Last year, it's something that we do only once a year, and it's called our She's Unstoppable Summit. And what's amazing is last year we had close to 500,000 women that joined virtually. Yes, which was just really humbling and extraordinary. Wow. And this year it's a little bit of a different format. We're doing 3 days. It's just 2 hours a day. But what's amazing is it's this beautiful community. I think there's a hunger and a longing for us to connect in a meaningful way, never mind in relationship, but just as human beings. And so from that perspective, it's something I'm really passionate about. And the summit itself is really, it's a space and place where women come together and really, connect to what's not working, what's no longer needed, what's like bogging me down. Like we have so many identities and roles and duties and responsibilities and energy, demanding our attention out external. And the summit's really about tuning into her and tuning in to claim all the parts of ourselves and to live our most authentic version. So we're doing that in August this summer, and I am preparing now.
So when you say you're preparing, does this mean wellness? Does this mean going over scripts? Like what is the prep actually like from a micro level look like?
Well, I think it's mind, body, spirit. I think, if you're getting ready for an event or you're getting ready for anything, you take care of your body, you fill your mind with what's relevant, or if it's not even so much a script, but I suppose more of a syntax of added value, because that's what you're really wanting to do is share lived wisdom and understandings that can help others free themselves, because I found a kinder way. And I think that's where we all meet is, for myself, when you ask me how I self-regulate, I know what it feels like when I didn't. And I know what it feels like when I don't. And I have found ways through to bring a different level of ease in a moment. I do a practice called 60 Seconds of Grace or 60 Seconds of Peace. And it's like the moment you can, for myself, I'll do it in between calls. I'll do it in between Zooms. I'll do it in between interviews. I'll do it, in between going from work into a personal space with our family or having dinner. And it's just a moment to gather our energy back to this moment. Would you like to experience it?
Yeah, I was just going to say, can you tell us exactly how to do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, so let's just sit completely comfortable.
Okay.
And once again, there's
Michael, cross your legs and take your pants
off. You don't even have to.
Sit up on the table.
Let me lay down.
Let me cross my legs and take my pants off on the table now.
Let me lay across.
That is a sight no one needs to see, Carson.
You're beautiful, Lauren. You really are.
Okay. You don't want me to sit up here right now naked. The baby might fall out.
Okay, so sit. And once again, you can do this the moment that you feel that you catch yourself and you're like, wow, I'm being crazy. Or you can do this in between a transition. You can do this in the morning at any point in time. When you asked me what I did to self-regulate, when I was at events and the noise was so loud and just everything, and there's so many people, I recognized I needed to catch a beat. For me, I needed to catch a beat. So you can call it 60 seconds of peace, 60 seconds of grace. You just sit completely comfortable wherever you are. There's no right or wrong way of doing this, and close your eyes. And invite your awareness back to this moment, back to your breath, back to the miracle of your body being breathed. The miracle in itself, the presence, tuning into the presence of behind the breath. You follow your breath. What do you notice here now? Gently open your eyes whenever it feels comfortable. Notice, what did you feel?
Well, you immediately just drop a beat. It's because when you're doing something like this, you're on high alert, right? And you're trying to focus so much. And then you just step out for a second. That's the quietest this office has ever been too, thank God, because I was wondering if they were going to start screaming out there.
Michael does this thing called Saber-tooth. I made up the name.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, but you really do it. Saber-tooth means he's looking for the saber-tooth tiger at all times. Because my theory is that his parents, when he was little, your dad's really high sensory.
No, we had this guy, Doc Amon, on. I don't know if you guys have ever met him. And he said some people, actually he predicts I will maybe live longer because I'm on high alert.
No, it's good.
So
it's
I'm
a good
out
thing.
there.
I'm not trashing
Maybe
him.
there's if I see if a car's coming, I'll avoid it.
He's
Lauren,
probably avoided
Lauren,
my
not,
death 100 times. I'm like Ichabod Crane with my head in a book. So he's Saber-tooth, so I don't really have to
beautiful.
look. Yeah, I don't have to look for anything.
Well, she's like Mr. Magoo. You know what I mean? Remember Mr. Magoo? He's somehow it works out for him. He's walking through construction sites.
But I think that's good for both of us because I can be oblivious and distracted and you can be saber-toothing. So it's brings you both down.
No, but it's
or maybe me up and you down.
I see why you like that practice. It's nice to just stop and get quiet without any agenda for a second.
What did you experience, Lauren?
I experienced my breath felt shallow when I started it, and then it got really, I don't know what it's deep. And also for me right now with pregnancy, it's very nice to do something like that. And slow down.
To slow down. What else did you notice as you slowed down and as you connected to your breath? What else did you notice? I feel my nervous system regulate. And I can feel it pretty quick. I really like to meditate, and I've noticed the benefits. And to me, even for 60 seconds, it's really beneficial, especially with all the sensory overload. From the lights to the phone to the interviews. And so we began this conversation with how do you self-regulate? That's one of the ways that I find quick. Really, it's so quick. Because what I find is, when I first began meditating, I would meditate in the morning. I'd bookend my day. So I'd meditate in the morning, meditate at night. But then meditation is really, it's about awareness and noticing. And so I found that just that 1 minute, just that 60 seconds of gathering our energy back to this moment. And as well, back to the miracle. Because, the saber-tooth tiger and all the things of doing and the lights and the interviews and everything, it's life's a miracle.
Yeah.
Life is the fact that we are alive. That's a miracle. And I woke up this morning, my body's being breathed. I did nothing for that. We did nothing for that. That blows my mind. It's life itself is a miracle. And I find the more that presence has come to life and taken flight in my life, I notice more grace. I notice more because we're, like you said, taking a step down, more tuned in.
Gabby Bernstein said something not similar, but kind of. I said, "What's your meditation practice?" And I wanted like the prescription of what it was. Like,
yes,
you said like you book in your day, whatever it is. And she said what you said. She said, "I meditate all the time. I meditate all day." She said whether it's taking a minute in the car or just stopping what I'm doing, even going to the bathroom and like just getting off your phone. Like she said she does it all day. And she said that's really helped her. And it takes the pressure off of the meditation.
Yes. And then when you don't get me wrong, I'm not meditative every moment.
Yeah.
I'm not self-regulated every moment, but that's a gift of life. It's like when you're not, it's like life saying hello. You know what I mean? Our body offers so much information because it feels uncomfortable, because you feel that resistance and that stress. And where I used to tune that out or ignore that or push that aside, it only got bigger. It only got louder. And so self-regulation, it's such a, with our daughter, I look at her as 4 years old. And I think as we reflect that and model that, no matter what's happening for her, she blows my mind. She'll catch her. For her, it looks like it's not so much the 60 seconds of grace, but it's 3 breaths and catching her breath. And she like literally she calms herself. And it's just so beautiful to see these practices come to life in that generation. Because for myself, I didn't recognize that a toddler or a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old could actually regulate themselves. And God created us wise and capable, and no matter what age we are. So that's really quite remarkable.
It's interesting, like our son was throwing a tantrum. We do this with both our kids. Our son was throwing a tantrum the other day, and like once he's done, at the end I'm like, okay, take the big breaths. And he's like learning how to do it out of his nose. But he's like, he's like doing his mouth, but then he breathes. And it's interesting to watch them do that and like fully change their state.
Yes,
and become
I noticed a little, it's kind of manipulative trick to do to them is to say, okay, do 3 because you're 3. Or 3 bites of eggs because you're 3.
Yes.
So with the breath, I'll be like, you need to do 3 breaths because you're 3.
Yes.
And they feel like it's their duty because they're 3.
Yes, that's beautiful.
The age thing really comes in advantage. And my 5-year-old, the same thing. The breath, I think you're so right. They can regulate themselves.
They do. What I recognize is our daughter, she appreciates when I join her. So if she's really had a big wave or she's just had a tantrum, I'll meet her where she's at. I'll get down to where she's at and I'll say, honey, let's take a breath together. I'm going to breathe up to the moon. Where are you going to breathe to? And she'll be like, the clock on the wall. And I'm like, okay, that's perfect. I'll join you. And so we'll breathe to the clock, or we'll breathe to the moon, or we'll breathe to whatever. But that intimacy, once again, that closeness, now she'll be like, can we breathe together? And so it's something that we do together. And also, while she's doing it, I'm doing it. So we're both regulating.
It's very smart.
We're both regulating.
How do you and Tony, as well-known people, think about raising a child? Like, I for my own self, want to know, like, what your boundaries are, how you guys think about bringing her up.
Well, in a big, complicated, wonderful life, I think it's really more about simplicity.
Yeah.
It's the simplicity of values and the simplicity of, as well, rituals, I think, that reflect that, anchor that and reflect that, whether it's coming together. It's like you can say to somebody, be thankful. It's like, what does that even mean? Or we can demonstrate actually holding hands at dinner and saying a prayer of gratitude. I think our real, the real gift is how we want our children to be is how we need to be, because we're mirroring. We're mirroring, and they're learning not only from what we're teaching them, but for how we are being. And so I think the honesty of, I'll say to our daughter, I'll say, honey, do you know what? Mom just needs to catch my breath. And she'll say, okay, Mom, let's take a breath together. I think that honesty of the realism that like life is happening and, they're navigating their world, we're navigating our world. And I think it's an opportunity to reflect what catching ourselves looks like, what self-regulation looks like, what beginning again looks like, what love looks like. They're learning from how we are relating. And I think that example is, it's not so much about what we're here to teach her. I think it's more so the example that we get to offer. And if we miss, you own it. You tidy it up, because then that teaches them a way to be in right relationship and to be like, I'm sorry. Our daughter, she'll apologize so naturally. She'll be like, I'm sorry, with her little friends. And I think it's so beautiful, because we come from a generation where I'm sorry was, I don't know, it was not as frequent.
You're right.
True.
It wasn't as frequent. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the book, Extreme Ownership, has a lot to do with that.
Yes.
I might text you a picture of that book.
Please do.
Anytime I need it.
Yes, please do.
What books, podcasts, content do you consume to be such a high performer?
Such a high performer. Well, I'm kind of a weirdo. I like really old books, obscure books, spiritual books that were like written in, the late 1800s or early 1900s.
I love stuff like that. Tell us all of it.
Well, let me tell you something that probably your listeners would more relate to. I have two people that I love and adore that are dear friends. I don't know if you're familiar with Byron Katie's work.
No.
Oh, she's a dear, dear friend and a dear sister on the path. She's extraordinary. She does a process called The Work, and it's a 4-step process of inquiry. And her book is, what's her book? Yes, thank you. Her book is A Mind at Home with Itself, and it's such an extraordinary read. And then another beloved book that we pass out to all of our friends and many times as a Christmas gift is Michael Singer's book called The Untethered Soul.
I love that book.
Isn't it so beautiful? And it's also so powerful. I'll return many, many times and I'll just open it up and just read a page because it just offers so much. And his whole philosophy, which I really respect, is you just keep letting go. Because if you think about, the notion of surrender, I remember as a younger version of myself, I'm surrendered. I mean, I surrender all the time. And I don't even think I knew what it meant. And at this stage of my life, it's just surrendering the ego, surrendering the clunky stuff, the arrogant patterns or the expectations or the blame or the demonization or whatever is just, it's surrendering that. It's surrendering what is no longer really needed because it only interferes with reality and it disconnects us from love. And that, I mean that internal love, never mind external love.
I want to read, I feel like I've heard of Byron Katie, but
she's amazing.
Yeah, I've heard her name.
Yes.
But I haven't consumed her content.
Yes, she's really... It's wonderful. It's a very simple process. And, if you look at what Tony does on stage, it's really, if he's ever in an intervention, he's asking questions because questions expand our perception.
Huh.
Questions expand our perception. Hers, Katie, is this true? Is this true? Is it true that he doesn't care about me? Is it true that she never listens to me? Is it true that he always judges me? And so you walk through, and mind can come up with an answer, really more so probably ego can come up with an answer really quickly. But when you put it on paper, it causes mind to slow down. And it's such a powerful tool for self-reflection.
Out of all of the things that you've seen, and you've seen some extraordinary things happen in front of you, I'm sure.
Yes.
What's been a transformation that you've seen happen in real time that's crazy to you?
Oh, my word.
I know that's a big question because you've seen a lot.
So many. I never get tired of somebody who, I suppose, sees themselves in a moment.
Yeah.
And
becomes aware.
And then actually walks these steps. It's really, my father was in AA. And when I think of the 12 steps, it's that path. It's a redemptive path of somebody admitting and being vulnerable and being open. I think there's, defense and blame can be so common, but it's so beautiful to see a human being so ripped open by life and so willing to see themselves and to live differently, to live a kinder way. That is beautiful every single time, and that never gets old. Because I think it's that mirror, that reflection is just so relatable.
What are the hardest people for you guys to help? if you're going to do a 500,000 women event, what are the ones that are the tough apples?
I'd say the tough apples, or maybe the ones who were dragged there that don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Because it's lacking willingness.
Yes. Louise Hay used to say that. She used to say, like, I will not take on a client that was gifted a session with me. It has to be their idea.
It's the same thing with AA, right?
Yes.
Like it's very hard to help people that are not seeking help for themselves.
True.
What about people who are in their ego, and how do you deal with that?
Well, it's not people that are in their ego, because we're all in our ego.
Right.
At times.
Right.
What's ego? It's just a fear mind. It's a survival mind.
So, I mean, maybe like there's an arrogance to them that's difficult.
Yes. Well, I suppose it's difficult. For myself, I look to relate, because I've been arrogant. Have you been arrogant?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been arrogant, right? So in that righteous state, and so it would be more so relating to them. It's like, gosh, I know what it's like to feel like, oh my gosh, I need to know all the answers. I need to be so hypervigilant, or I need to be the, what do you call it? The jaguar. What do you call him?
Saber-tooth.
Saber-tooth. The saber-tooth.
No, I'm not the saber-tooth. I think there's one about to kill me. That's
He's looking for the saber-tooth.
Okay, got it.
Maybe if I thought of myself as a saber-tooth.
But I find when we join people in that common ground, that's where we all meet. No matter where we come from, no matter whether we're educated, uneducated, whether we're poor, whether we're wealthy, whether you're whatever race, whatever religion, we all have this labyrinth of mind. We all have an ego. We all have a heart, and we know what it feels like to be out of coherence. We know what it feels like to feel like, and to feel at home inside of ourselves. And so in those circumstances, you just look to join somebody, because I am you, you're me. We're not so different. We come in a different context, different name, but we're all human, and we're all navigating this experience called life. And it can be extraordinarily humbling. And rather than their ego or their righteousness, it's like, okay, shit, I know what that's like. I've been her, I've been him. And I think that in that space, it's disarming. And I think it creates a safety where there's a willingness for individuals to open or not. It's up to each of us.
2 fun ways I've been using my Taylor Farms chopped salad kits. The first thing I've been doing, thanks to my friend Emily, is tacos. So you can use the avocado ranch pre-chopped salad kit, and you can make delicious, crunchy tacos. So I did a bunch of ground beef. I did some cheddar cheese. I did some sliced tomatoes, some white onions, some jalapeno. And then I put the avocado ranch Taylor Farms chopped salad kit on top of my taco. It was so delicious. I like a crunchy shell. I kind of like a Taco Bell inspired vibe. And it was perfect because everything was already chopped. There's no slicing. There's no leaving half a cabbage in your fridge. It was very much ideal. The other day, I decided to make the La Scala Italian chopped salad recipe, which is so good. Go Google it online. It's like one of my favorite salads in LA. And what I did is I used the Mediterranean Crunch Taylor Farms chopped salad kit as a base. I added some garbanzo beans, some chopped chicken, a little bit of tomato. It was delicious. And essentially what Taylor Farms is doing is saving you time because it's chopped and ready to go. Grab a Taylor Farms chopped salad kit and get your salad together. They have sweet kale, Caesar, avocado ranch, and Mediterranean crunch. And if you're wondering, yes, the whole family loves them too. Taylor Farms chopped salad kit. Check them out. If you know anything about me, you know that I use red light therapy every single day. I usually use it while I'm meditating. I'm just like a huge fan of what it does. So let me tell you about Bon Charge. Bon Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. Everything's founded on science, but it's inspired by nature, which is really awesome. They have a whole line that helps you sleep better, perform better, have more energy, recover faster, balance hormones, reduce inflammation. The list is like a scroll. And out of all their products, they have a red light face mask that is unbelievable. So you can get blue light glasses on there. You can get infrared saunas, red light therapy, EMF management. Everything is circadian friendly lighting. and they just have it all. But you have to check out their red light face mask if you're looking for something to help with wrinkles, fine lines, sore jaw, migraines, acne. I also noticed that red light therapy has really helped balance my hormones postpartum, which has been awesome. So how I like to use it is I do like 20 minutes a day. It's really easy to use. You can just put it on while you're watching TV or meditating, cooking a meal even, which is awesome. And what I noticed myself after being a practitioner of red light therapy is that I noticed that it boosts the collagen. You can really tell. Their mask is super lightweight on the face. It doesn't get hot. It has 0 EMF radiation, which is really important, and it's sleek and lightweight. Go to boncharge.com and use coupon code SKINNY to save 15%. That's boncharge.com and use coupon code SKINNY to save 15%.
Earlier in my life as a student, when I was bouncing around, and even earlier in my career where I was stressed about where I was going to live and how often I had to live, furniture was such a constant stress. I would regularly have to move into different spaces to rent different places. And every single time I had to think about how I was going to furnish the place, where I was going to get the furniture, where I was going to come up with the money, how I was going to get the movers. It was a total pain and it was so stressful. This is why I love Court Furniture Rental so much. Court Furniture Rental helps every house or apartment feel like a home on day one with high quality furnishings and expert service. You can achieve furniture freedom when you need it. So whether it's getting a new job, whether you move off campus, whether you're moving for short term, or you have temporary furniture needs, Court Furniture has you covered. Court Furniture Rental is an incredible company for anyone looking to get their place furnished. Here's the thing, everyone needs furniture, but not everyone needs it forever. Furniture shouldn't tie you down no matter where you move, and Court Furniture Rental is convenient whenever you get a new job, move off campus, or move short term. They have move-in ready room packages designed with your next move in mind. And with furniture rental, you can rent what you need and return it when you're ready for the next adventure. I wish I had this when I was younger. I wish I knew about it. This would have taken so much stress out of my life. It can do the same for you right now. So if you're getting ready to move to that next place or you're looking to furnish your current place, Court Furniture Rental has you covered. Build your own furniture rental package today at court.com. That's CORT.com/podcast.
I am so obsessed with this brow peptide. I use it all day long. I use it in the morning. I use it to touch up my brows. I even use it at night. Why it's amazing is it's castor oil. Castor oil is what Egyptians used to use to grow their hair. And I added a peptide to it, so it's a little umph. So many of these brow growth serums on the market are melting the fat around the eyes, which is so crazy. And this one is just non-toxic. I use it while pregnant. And it just gives your brows this like glazed, youthful look, almost like a feathered brow. It's so pretty. I caught Michael using it. That's how like clean it is. A guy can use it and it lifts your face. I use this after my skincare. So in the morning, I habit stack it onto all of my skincare. So I'll do everything. I'll put my caffeinated sunscreen on, and then I'll just use the spoolie to go through my brows and brush them up. And it, like I said, it gives you like a wet lifted look. And then I also will use the little lash one. See how we have like a little lash situation at the bottom on top of my lashes before I go to bed after my skincare. You can touch up your brows with this. I sometimes even will use brow pencil. My makeup artists use it. I think this is my favorite Skinny Confidential product. I'm very, very proud of this. And it works. It grows your brows because, like I said, castor oil, Egyptians, telling you, you got to try this. I have one in every purse. You can't go wrong. You can subscribe on our site, shopskinnyconfidential.com, and it's delivered straight to your door. If you want to upgrade your beauty routine and upgrade your eyebrows and lift your face, you got to try the Skinny Confidential's brow peptide.
What is the most powerful thing that you've taught Tony, if you had to guess? And what is the most powerful thing that he's taught you?
That's, I need to think about
You're
that.
all, let me pull out Awaken the Giant Within.
That's a hard question, Lauren.
No, but I like it, and I want to
answer
it.
It probably is a hard question. It's because you guys have taught each other tons of things. But I'm just curious, like what you've infiltrated into his life and what he's...
Well, I'll share Tony's capacity to see... I don't know, Tone just loves people. He's such a lover of people. And his capacity to find goodness in people, only always. And he's that way on stage. He's that same guy off stage. And sometimes, you know, when I met him, I always felt protective of him. He's a 6'7" man. Why did I need to feel protective of him? And maybe if we were going into business with somebody and if I felt uneasy or I wasn't certain about the person and I'd be like, I don't know. And they came in a package that mind would judge. And I'm like, Tony, I don't know about this guy or I don't know about this woman. And he's really schooled me to be open. And if I did judge, to be willing to give somebody a chance and to open myself to see something else. That's probably one of the greatest gifts that he has really bestowed, is recognizing the universality and the goodness and the innocence in people. I can't speak for him. You'd have to ask him.
What do you think you've brought? You must bring all these different things to him. He married you. So what are the things that you feel ground him?
I'd say being, I'd say being, being comfortable, enjoying life, enjoying in the senses of life and being here now. He was always the guy that, if it was my birthday, he would want to do the most grand gestures. And I'm like, hon, I just want to be with you.
Yeah.
I actually, I want nothing. I just want to be with you. So I'd say the simplicity of being, and in that space, love where he doesn't have to do anything. He can just, I love his heart. I love who he is. And I think for him being seen for who he is, not for what he was giving to me, I think that was, he has shared that with me. That's been life-changing for him, but I certainly can't speak for him. So you'd have to ask him next time we're on your show.
That makes total sense though, because so much of his life is performing, and I don't know if performing is the right word, but showing up fully
for
on
others.
Stage for others.
Yes.
And it makes total sense to me that one of the reasons he's so attracted to you is he can just maybe be.
He can be. I love the guy. I love, it's funny because people say who is he really? And he is that guy.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins is the guy that I married.
Yeah.
And then there's Tone, that's, we all have different aspects of self. And I think that can be missed sometimes, is that we all have many, many parts. And as much as I love Tony Robbins, I love Tone. And he's the guy with his baseball cap on backwards. And, he's goofy and playful and relaxed and in that space where there's less effort. I enjoy that guy as well. And I have, respect and admiration for who he is in both perspectives. But I would say that just the guy, I love his heart.
That's pretty cute.
Let me be, Lauren.
I let you be. I do let you be. But when it's time to give birth, I need you to.
I get my game face on when it's time for birth.
Can we reset?
we can reset.
And you were just gonna say, I need you. It would be meaningful. Something that Tony and I will say is, honey, it would be meaningful. So, Michael, it would be meaningful if. What is your want?
What I want, and I think you're the perfect person to say this to, because you will understand, I think. It's hard when you work together and you have the switch on with work, but then I'm in a moment right now where I need to taper off the work and concentrate on giving birth.
Yeah, well,
so look at him right now. Tell him that.
So I need to give birth now after this episode.
Can you just at least finish the ads after and maybe do and then
Dave,
Carson, and what else do we have to do?
He gives me a fucking to-do list.
And we have to do a couple I'm just kidding. I get it, but this is a perfect example of what I was saying.
But just respond to her, Michael.
Yes, I will.
As a consideration.
I think today's the last day, actually, that we should be doing it. Because
I'm crowning.
Yeah, we've really stretched it to the limit with it.
Literally stretched.
I thought we were gonna slow down a lot earlier. This literally, the baby could come at any second.
The work switch is gonna be off after this day.
After the pickups, but yes.
It would be meaningful. What I hear from her is it would be meaningful for her. I don't want to put words in you, but
please, it's great.
The work switch, if I can speak, the work switch is off, and to take a pause, a space together, a moment together. I don't know, dude. It's your life, but that's what I feel in you, is that you want to catch your breath before this little one comes.
They call it on Instagram and TikTok soft girl era, I think. Like where it's time, like I've put in the work.
I'm not going to try to understand
No, you guys know, Priscilla knows what I'm talking about. She's shaking her head. It's a soft, like I need to switch into my feminine more.
Yes.
And I think sometimes that's hard when you are working with your spouse because you are a lot, as you know, and you're masculine.
Yes.
And when you want to turn that off and switch it, and this is where it's hard to work together as a couple.
Yes.
It's confusing, I think, sometimes because they're used to the masculine and
I don't think it's hard to switch it off. I think it's hard to switch it off and on and off and on in such short periods of time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I'm flicking it like.
And what makes you access, what nourishes that part of you? Do you even know that?
I think motherhood and being at home and homemaking and being in my house. And I think I'm about to go into that like nesting phase that you go into. And you can flicker your switch a little.
Yeah. No, I think it's time.
Isn't this so serendipitous that you came on the show and when this all happened? It's like
perfect timing for me, to be honest. It was getting a little rocky there for me for a second.
Like saved our marriage. I was think getting so. You're beautiful.
I think Tony helped us we doing this show in a
like
funny
therapy.
In a weird way. Like we don't do couples therapy, but I think it's very important for people to think about that. But the reason we don't is we get the benefit of talking about these kind of things with people like yourself so regularly. Like this show in a weird way has been very therapeutic because we spend hours and hours together talking about things with people about these kind of issues.
It's weird. You were the perfect energy to come on the show today.
Wow, that was guided.
Just hang around for like the next couple of weeks.
I have some rapid fire questions.
Okay, sure, go for it.
And then I want to hear all about the summit that everyone can do. She's unstoppable. I said that right?
Yes.
Okay, we can cut my saying.
Yeah,
I just
totally.
want to make sure. Okay. These are rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What would your 80-year-old self thank you for today?
For letting go of what's no longer needed and for becoming more self-reflective rather than self-absorbed.
Ooh, that's a good one. What's one truth that you wish every woman could fully embody?
That we don't have to choose, that life gives us the experience that we can be all of it. And that I don't know so much. It's about being equal to. I think there's the beauty and the gift of being different and exploring all of our many facets of self. And I think in that life is never, we've never really arrived. We get to keep iterating. And I think that that's really fascinating and beautiful. So I look at that with our daughter and I'm like, honey, it's not just like you can do anything, but you can also be, and that there's a space to feel it all, express it all, live it all, taste it all. Life is just meant to be experienced. And I think that that's very freeing.
Multifaceted.
True.
How do you personally define emotional safety in today's world?
Emotional safety, define what that means to you.
Emotional safety to me personally is keeping a regulated nervous system and feeling balanced mentally and emotionally.
Yes, I'm very aligned with that. I think sometimes when you describe it that way, a lot of people can look at emotional safety as, don't trigger me or don't say this or don't do that. And that can get wonky because then once again, I'm wanting this person to behave different than what they are.
It's like laser tag.
Or a lot of people to behave that way, especially if you're on the internet. I think
weird.
You're counting on a mass of the population to behave in a certain way that you want them to. And it's not realistic.
But I think emotional safety is about being what's most authentic and what's true for you in the moment, and allowing emotion. It has a life of its own, and I think sometimes we can demonize what's coming up, but it's coming up to be understood. It's coming up to be lived, and I think it's not even safe, but I think it's just natural. The other night, I was with my family, and a dear beloved family of mine is navigating dementia, and it was humbling, and it was beautiful, and it was painful. And I went to bed that night, and I got up and I was brushing my teeth, and I don't know, I cried in a way that I haven't in a very long time. And I just noticed, and it wasn't like dramatic crying. A younger version of myself, I was crying, oh, this happened. You know what I mean? The external of this, it was just, I don't know, it felt raw. It felt primal. It felt instinctive. It just moved through me. And that was self-regulating. Like I don't know, I had compassion for me, for my family member, for the whole experience. And it felt honest and it felt true.
I think that why dementia is so hard too is because you probably feel not emotionally safe.
When you're true. I think what I recognize about the pattern of it is, or the disease of it is that your world shrinks and things become scarier.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. It's one foot in reality, but yet I also see, not so different than you and I can fall asleep. I can be crazy in my mind. It's just life with maybe a little bit less of a middle ground, I suppose, or the capacity to self-regulate. And so with that, it just invokes an incredible amount of compassion.
I also imagine there's a little bit of a mourning element to it. At least that's what it was for me and my grandmother, because you kind of, the person is still there physically, but parts of them are gone or leaving, if that makes sense.
Or just different.
Yeah.
And so, but what I really noticed too is it's such an amazing opportunity to practice our own self-regulation, so that for myself, that I can all I want to be is connected, and to show up and be the best version, most connected and understanding and accepting and not personalizing. It's not about me. It's about holding space for this individual if it really does feel unsafe. I think it's the sane and the kind thing to do to love them.
It sounds like you're doing a really good job at that.
Well, hey, you do the best you can.
Yeah. You said
we can
earlier,
ever do.
You said, and this lends to this question, you said, I just want to make sure I can write it down. You said change expectation for appreciation.
Yes, that's Tony's. That's not mine.
You can rebrand it. You're his wife. You created She's Unstoppable for women who are feeling burnt out or disconnected, which I think is genius because so many are.
Yes, or burnt out or disconnected, or just having a hunger to connect with the most authentic version, with our true nature. And it's interesting because She's Unstoppable. It's like the team, we went back and forth, and I was like, I want to stop sometimes. So, but it's not the doing, it's more about the being. There's a force that's guided all three of us to be in this room right now.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And this summit's really about tapping into that force, about tapping into our nature, about freeing what's no longer serving us, and living a life a kinder way, a truer way, a more fulfilling way.
So if a woman who's listening wants to come to this event, what do you personally hope that they walk away with?
That they walk away with feeling free, that they walk away with knowing how to self-regulate themselves, that they know how to free themselves, that who they are is beautiful, perfect, and whole. And I think that's part of it, is just falling in love with the beautiful gift of being a woman. I love everything about being a woman. And I also see that I think there's common challenges and opportunities for us, and we all meet in that. And so I think having more that we can connect to, having an understanding and recognizing that, yes, I am this, I am that, I do this, I do that. And hey, what about her?
You should call it He Just Doesn't Understand. He just doesn't get it. He's clueless.
It'd be a packed event.
Rebrand it. I can rebrand it. I have a lot of ideas.
I'm sure you do.
Let me pull out my poster board. He literally has no idea.
You could do that event.
He's delusional.
What are we talking about now? Who? What? Who are you?
Wait, what do I say? Let's reset.
Let's reset. Let's reset. Start over.
No, these tools have been amazing. In all seriousness, I'm not joking. These tools have been amazing, especially for me because I can run hot. I'm hormonal right now, and I actually am going to use the Sage Robbins techniques, and I think they're going to work. I'm putting it out there in the ether.
I'm certain they'll work. Whatever, if it's, as long as it's different than the first approach, I think we're going to be heading the right direction.
Do you know what I notice about you both? Is even though, maybe in moments you drive each other crazy, I really feel and see a lot of love.
Oh, we have a lot of love.
And he makes you, even when he's talking and sometimes you're maybe like giving him shit a little, you're also smiling and you really love this man and you really love her. And that's utterly evident and palpable and apparent between the two of you.
Well, that's very nice to say. You know what's funny is like she's a total pain in my ass, but I wouldn't.
I'm a total pain in Tony's ass.
But you
guys like it though. What do you want? No pain in your ass?
But I think this is important for anyone to that's getting into a relationship. Like, I wouldn't change anything about her. Sometimes people see our banter and they don't, because maybe it wouldn't be their banter. But I'm like, this is what I felt and who I fell in love with. So it's like, listen, every relationship has room for improvement, but I don't get upset by this, because like what I think is a mistake in a relationship is you fall in love with someone and then you spend the entire time trying to change the person you fell in love with. But that doesn't work.
I also think when you've been together 25 years, so you can relate to this. It's like, the line. Well, I've known him since I was 12. I know the line of how far we can go. And so the internet, they get mad. They're like, oh, she heckles him or what. I'm like, no, we know the line.
No, it was like that Dave Chappelle, Charlie Murphy skit when he plays Rick James. And he's like, Rick James is a habitual line stepper. Like, she's a habitual stepping over the line.
I take a toe and I put it over the line, but it doesn't touch the other side.
I hope I got that one. I think Carson, that's the Rick James
That's
one,
actually
right?
a really great metaphor. Yeah. Tony always says, he's like, honey, he says, I stand on stage with 10,000 people and they prepared me for dealing with you. So, yes, I'm no cakewalk. But you
keep it fun.
You do. Yeah. Life is,
you need some color. She's Unstoppable, a free, I want to reiterate, it's free 3-day experience. Tell us where we can find you personally and also sign up for the free event.
Yes, it's she'sunstoppablesummit.com.
Amazing.
We will link it all out in the show notes, everybody.
Sage Robbins. At Sage Robbins.
And next time you guys have to come on together, we'll get a bigger couch for 6'7".
You might need it.
And we'll do a him and her. And you guys can do therapy on us.
Oh, I don't think you need it. You guys can do therapy on us.
Okay.
No, we enjoy talking to you.
Thank you so much for coming.
And thank you for making the trip out here.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a real gift. And thanks for seeing me so close to your pregnancy. And you guys are beautiful. I've enjoyed you.
Thank you.